Good evening, everyone. My name is Kamna Jain, and I have been your coordinator for the last. Today is the fifth day, and we've been having very engaging sessions. Just a couple of instructions before we jump into the session. Tomorrow, the session will start at 2 p.m. You will be having three lessons. So, there is a separate Zoom link to join tomorrow, which is there in the WhatsApp group description. So I'll request you guys to please see the joining link for tomorrow on Zoom and see and join on that link. This link is only till today. Tomorrow there will be another link to join, which is there in your WhatsApp thing. I will also paste it here at the end of the session so that you guys can join tomorrow, because tomorrow the timing is different. Tomorrow the time is 2 o'clock afternoon. So I'll request you to join tomorrow. Um, all of you would have received promo codes to take the assessment on Future Skills Prime. If any one of you has not got the Future Skills Prime promo code, please message me. I will resolve any query that you have. I'll request you all to finish the course on Future Skills Prime, the generative AI fluency. Couple of you have reached out to me today also that you don't have access to the group. So I have tried to get you the group access. It will be great if you can finish the course by tomorrow, because the assessment will be taken on the Future Skills Prime platform. Once you join tomorrow, I will share the link of assessment of generative AI fluency on Future Skills Prime, and you will put the promo, you will click on the assessment. It will show you 600 rupees. You don't have to pay that. You just have to put your promo code in the promo code over there. You will get access to the test, to the assessment. Once you click on the assessment, by the clock, you will get 60 minutes to complete the assessment. And after that, we will have the valedictory address by our CEO, Dr. Abhilasha Gaur. So the assessment will start tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. That is when you should take the assessment. Before that, please complete the course. That's all the instructions I have for you. If there's any doubt, please put it on chat. I will try to answer that. If there are any questions for our expert, please put it in question box. We will see how best we can address that. And with that, I would like to give a very warm welcome to our expert for today, Mr. Rishabh Kumar. Welcome, Rishabh. The topic for today is key ethical concerns of generative AI and generative AI in legal. So before you start, Rishabh, let me just take a quick minute to introduce you. Rishabh is a senior software engineer with over 6 years of experience in the IT industry, specializing in AI driven application development, data security, and scalable backend systems. He is a graduate of the Dronacharya College of Engineering. He has successfully designed and delivered AI 5 to almost 5 to 10 AI based applications across diverse domains, focusing on performance, automation, and intelligent user experience. He has a strong command of Python, fast API, and cloud technologies. And he's very passionate about innovation, and he's continuously exploring emerging technologies like artificial intelligence, machine learning, and data engineering to build smarter, safer, and more impactful digital solutions. Over to you, Rishabh, to take our participants through this.
Yeah, hi Kamna. I guess I'm audible to all of you
Yes, you're
guys.
audible. You can speak a little louder.
Yeah. So as Kamna told about me, that I have already given 5 to 10 AI-based applications to the market or to the industry, in which one of the project is Resolve AI that I have developed, and it is spread in the UK market right now. So that is about my experiences, as I have already given my 6+ years of experience in IT industry for the AI and for the machine learning and for the Python as well. So yeah, let's start with sharing some screen. Say calm down. Is it visible to you?
Yes, it's visible.
So yeah, so when we are talking about the generative AI solution, so first we should focus not about on the accuracy, not about on the uh, like servers where we have deployed all these models, but on the security as well, right? So because whatever the data has been trained for our LLM and for our models, our custom models, that should be pass through some policies of the data as per the government policies and regulatories and all things. So first, we have to start with the visual uh, adversarial examples, jailbreak, line large language models. So what it is, so when we are talking about the jailbreak, it is something like there are some layers of security on our data, and there are someone who can break it as per the requirement, right? So where the ethical hacking is also there, it is a part of that game as well. So when we are talking about it, so the another part of the security to not is just not to just provide the solutions, like suppose there is a market of uh, Meta AI, right? So there are the multiple data sets over the models it is trained, and we are consuming that data. But we can, there are some unethical persons are there who can take the disadvantage of those models, and they will definitely start to take disadvantages of that particular model, and they can misuse that data as well. So that the as we can just say, in the recent there is a banana AI tool of or Gemini, so where the images has been trained, but there are some data which can be mislead as per the news of the Gemini banana tool, AI tool, right? So that is also the misuse of that particular images that we have already stored in our databases. The Google has stored in their databases, and they are generating some images as per their experiences of that data, right? So that for that particular things, we should able to check about the data security as well. So if guys, anybody has a question, I will able to see here as well. And come now,
Yeah, yeah,
hello.
I will help you with that. You can just move ahead with the lesson.
Yeah, sure.
I'll interrupt you if there are questions. Please go ahead.
Yeah, yeah, sure. So now there is a critical security gap, right? The vulnerability, attack surface expansion, and and precedent data transfers, right? So, what is the AI vulnerability for the AI, right? So, as I told you guys that some guys are there who will be able to just bypass their security layers and give the harmful instructions to the LLM, and it will behave, unethically or unprotected, right? So when we are talking about generative AI, about the legal terms, right? So there are, suppose in our Indian Constitution, there are some laws, right? So that particular laws models are there, and a law firm is using their own LLM or their own LLM models, and they are just train that particular model based on our all constitution data. But right now they are solving the any problem of their cases or some any other things, and somebody is just bypassing the harmful instruction so that particular case can be diverted in some another direction, right? Because that model can be also trained as per their information, because we are talking about the generative AI. So generative AI is nothing but just to train or previous or upcoming data and it will train automatically, right? So this is main vulnerabilities vulnerabilities are there, right? The another one is attack surface expansion, right? So integration of visual inputs creates a weak link in a security due to the continuous and high dimensional nature of visual data, fundamentally easier to exploit than discrete text. So what it is, I mean, the attack surface expansions, it is just linked with our data as well. So suppose uh, the data is uh, in a critical phase, something like, I mean, there are the different types, I mean, different dimensional data are there in nature, right? So some data are easy to crack, right? Easy to able, I mean, there are some persons who will be able to get those or to fetch those data easily. So as per their data behaviors, so this is the particular surface for the attackers, right? So who can attack easily for their data. Suppose there are the some data keys, some security keys are there, and it is not being stored as per their policies. So that can be easily predictable, right? So because of that particular thing, the LLM will bypass your answers, I mean your keys to the user easily as per the queries. So we have to think very carefully about it when we are generating or creating our LLMs and models, right? So, and the third point is unprecedented transfers. It is something, I mean, it is similar like to the one hour second point. The another point is the multimodality trend and its implications, right? So why multimodality? So many LLMs or in many like computers visions. I mean, how many of our team members who knows about the visions or the computer visions?
How many?
I guess
Please put it in the chat box if you know what is computer vision. Yes or
yes,
no? If you know computer vision, please put yes. You should be. We have spoken about it in the earlier lessons.
yeah. I mean, we should
Just heard,
create.
not Sonali Singh. She has just heard about it. She has not worked on it.
Okay, okay. So I mean, we can just create a poll system as well, Kamna, if we have.
Sure, sure.
So when we are talking about the computer vision, right? So it is nothing but just uh, to just generate to work on the images, to work on the pictures, right? Which is about like three-dimensional, the two-dimensional pixels, right? So why when a some person working on that particular models or LLMs, they are images which is very private, I mean the private things of the particular users, right? It can be exploited as per the models we have trained, right? So as we can say that visual language models, right? So but everybody, I don't think so. We have, I mean, everybody has have heard about like retina images, right? So you are C2, that is a library of the Python. So we are just, I mean, using these types of libraries or these types of packages to train our system, or to train our model, or to just get features from that images and to train our vector DBs. And after that, we are just comparing the images of that particular things. But how if that particular vector DB embeddings, right, are misusing by someone else. Suppose my images are there, but I can generate and of my anybody can generate of my images by using my embeddings. So it can exploit the market. I mean whatever the product that we have built or that we will build, definitely it will break, right? So that types of particular thing needs to be carefully handled when we are just creating some these types of models. So this is what I'm talking about multimodality. Okay, so expanded attack surfaces, the visual vulnerability, and it is I
There is
mean
some disturbance in your audio. If you can
mhm.
move closer, speak louder or clearer.
Okay, is it audible calm now right now? I mean everything is okay from my end.
Better, better.
Okay. So yeah, so the expanded attack surfaces. I had already talked about the attack surfaces, what it is. So what is the expanded? What I mean, why we are calling the expanded? Because of the text comparison system are there, right? Text-based securities are there, and some vulnerable entry points are there. So for attacking, which is I have already explained over for the images, for the data, for the text data as well, and for the train data as well. So that is totally dependent on my previous slides. Okay, extended implications and beyond the misclassification. Okay. Got it. So the NLP, I mean the natural language processing. So in that particular thing, uh, we have just labelized all the fields or as per our requirement, right? Suppose there is a classification of some classifications of documents. There are suppose the legal documents. Uh, uh, Suppose you are working on a project of uh, a road or the highways, right? And there are the government is involved here. So there are the multiple contracts between the vendors and the company or and the government, and the each contracts should be parsed by the NLP, right? Should be classified by using the NLP, right? So suppose whatever the extraction of data from the that particular contracts should be stored somewhere, but in that particular manner, so that me or a system can detect by which clause it is connected, right? So that for these particular things we are using the NLP and we are generating the NLP tasks. But the problem is again here, uh, there are multiple clauses are there which is not understandable, which is not being understandable by easily by the LLMs, because it is a because all LLMs is trained on the general language, right? But as per the context, no, it will not understand the sarcastic letters. So suppose there are the correspondence letters which is uploading by a vendor on the system, and it is finding some categories of that particular contract. I mean from which it is from that I mean that letter is belonging from which contract. Then um, then for that particular case we are using the NLP type things. So for that NLP, I mean for classification of documents, the Gemini 1.5 Flash is very workful for the market. Anybody can use that because for the contractual clauses or for all the clauses, the Gemini 1.5 Flash has been trained on that particular things. I mean, it is very superior for that particular thing. So, but again, the problem is when we are talking about the Indian market or Indian government things. And when we are talking about the out of the country things, I mean, like for the US market. So the US market will never involve or will never give you their contractual data or some their the private informations of that particular of any particular organization. So how the person will manage these particular things. So because I mean there are many data concerns are there, right? When they are giving the data, they should have some policies or data policies to train that particular model, right? So these types of things, I mean, where this NLP is coming into the picture, where we can just put some data layers or policies layers, and then we are labeling all the informations, right? So the optimization strategy, right? So suppose, I mean, it is not nothing about the concern about uh, jailbreak or the data security in legals, right? It is about how we are just we can manage or train our multimodal things. We can use 7 billion data, 13 billion data, or we can use the I mean Mistral models as well there, right? But the problem is when we are talking about Mistral models or some few short learning models are there, that would be that would be not useful for any of industry right now. So anybody's who are creating their model using the Mistral model or using that Mistral model. So I mean, how many of team members are aware about the Mistral model or Olama model right now? May I know what the things? Computerized information. Exact, said mostly from images. Okay, so I'm not hearing anything about the poll system, Kamna, right now. Kamna, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, I'm just asked about the Mistral model and the Ulama model because for the, I mean, next slides, I need to know about that. If the
Okay.
guys are
I
not
don't know
knowing
how to
about it,
make that poll. Uh, how you we can just ask the question. We'll ask them to put the answers in chat.
yeah, yeah, they
If
can,
you
they
can
can.
create the poll, that's fine. If you want to create the
Yeah,
poll.
Sonali, yeah, and yes, you know about the Ulama and worked on it. Okay, so they don't have any access to talk about, right? They just need they can just put the chat some information on chat, right?
Yeah, yeah. If you want, are you able to create a poll here?
Maybe not. I
I
don't
can
have.
make
I'm
you
not
the
seeing.
host. One
Mm-hmm.
second. I'll try. Well, give me a minute. I'll try to make you the host. Just give me a minute. Maybe then you can put the one second, one second, one second. I'm making you the host. Okay, you can make me back the host.
Good,
You can
Sonali.
probably you can start the poll now. Just see.
No, but I am not able to see any options here right now. Uh,
Oh, okay. What is the poll that you want me to create? I'll try.
okay, okay, okay. I'm doing.
You're doing? You're
Yeah,
creating the poll? Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
I'll suggest you ask the question and let them put the
Yeah,
answer.
yeah. I mean, maybe otherwise it will take time, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, good, Sonali. Yeah, you're right. Olama is an open source platform, and that is I use two things to create the chatbot Rasa framework on Anaconda and Olama. Okay. So, Sonali, only the Sonali has answered about it. I mean, she knows about it. So, I think everybody should know about the what is Olama, right? Olama is give you a hand to create any custom model or any types of model as per your requirement for basically for your chatbot, basically for your requirements. So, I mean, like suppose. Uh, you have your own database of students, right? And for your college, you want to create a model who can answer each of your queries related to the school policies or related to the college policies, right? So
Some
you should,
audio disturbance is there again from your side.
uh, audio trouble.
Yeah, still there is some audio trouble. Are you able to hear Rishabh clearly? Please put the
Yeah,
answers in chat. No, we're not able to hear. Okay, Rishabh.
uh,
There is some audio problem, I think.
okay, okay, give me a moment. Give me a moment.
Yeah,
Hello,
yeah.
am I
Yeah,
audible?
please.
Yeah.
You're audible. Sometimes there is some crack. So the audio is cracking.
Yeah, maybe some network issues come
Now
now.
it's fine. Yeah, now
Yeah,
it's fine.
yeah, okay. So, where I
Olama.
was, Ulama.
Olama.
So,
It's a headphone issue, I think. Yeah. Sometimes audio is breaking. If you want to
okay,
change your
yeah,
headphone,
yeah, I'm changing. I'm changing. Wait.
yeah.
Yeah, actually, we can start without headphone, right? I mean, there is a problem.
Yeah.
I'm audible.
Sure.
I'm
Yeah.
audible.
Yes.
Yeah, sure. So, yeah. So when we are, I was on Ulama, right? So yeah, so suppose a student wanna create a model and which is something related to the college policy and the I mean the school policies are there, and I mean it is just for the the help desk type model, right? Who can answers the simple queries of the students who are the new admission or the new admission in your school or in your college or in your companies, right? So for that particular thing, you can create a custom model and deploy it on your local server and provide to the school or provide to the colleges and provide to your companies. But the problem is Olama model, it is depend on the data sets as well. It's like 7 billion, 13 billion, and 70 billion billions are there. So for that particular thing, you should need a high, I mean, high configurable infrastructure like Qualcomm 100 Ultra chips are there. I mean, and the cards are there, which you can use for any type of these models, which can build easily, which can run on easily, right? So for these particular things, you can use that Olama. And but the problem again is you can build your model, you can put it on your local server, but someone are outside from your organization and misusing your LLM models queries to answer the wrong answers to the users who are new joining. right? So suppose I'm Rishabh, I have joined a company and there are some policies which I don't know about it, and they have just created their own model and put those models on their server or or on their internal server, and after that I have coming and I have checked, okay, what is my in time and out time policies, and it someone from outside the company who is just joking with me and put an answer, it is something related to 3:30 to 9:30. So there is no HR, there are no HRs are there are nobodies are there that need solve because they have put it an AI based model there. So I don't have any need to afraid that I'm coming at 3:30 and 9:30, but it is a misuses of the model, right? Because the actual time was it is about 9:30 to 6:30, but it is showing me the 3:30 to 10:30 or the 12:30. So it is the misuse of that particular content and given to the new joinees or to the new employees, and just take the advantages of those particular times or things, right? So these types of things that can harmful for any organization, for any for the specific, like NGOs are there, for the schools are there. So yeah, these are the points. These are the optimization strategies we need to be follow, and we need to be care about it. So what are the optimization strategies? So first one is corpus selection, like begin with a few short corpus of 66 derogatory sentences targeting specific identities and groups. So the what is few short corpus? I mean, somebody has heard about the few short learning or few short examples of model. So what it is something related to uh, suppose there are some question of, I mean, there are set of questions whose answer should be there. I mean, uh, say like I told you guys I told you guys like that my what is my coming time and the, I mean, check-in time and the checkout time should be there. So there is a predefined few short example that if a user is asking about what is my check-in and checkout time, it should be you should behave and answer as a 9:30 and 6:30. So these types of examples are the few short learning or few short examples for the models, right? Yeah, Surya. Kamna, I guess Surya or somebody has raised their hand.
Surya, please put your question in the
Yeah,
question box or in the chat box.
try 7 or 9 we can use or not. No, no. For Intel Ultra i7, you can't use the more trained databases, and for the 9 as well. I mean, when you're talking about the Ultra, we can't use it. Amarjeet.
Amarjit, hope that answers your question.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, he's saying yes.
And Surya was also there. I mean, okay, we can move ahead. After
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
yeah,
Let him post his question in the chat box or the question box.
okay. So now the in distribution success, out of distribution success, or baseline revision rate. So what the thing that I have missed in my previous slide, it is about the testing of your model or functional testing of your model, right? I mean, it is something related to other confusion matrix. So who will create their model that should be test one time or the two times at least by the confusion matrix, and you can score your model accuracy by helping from the confusion matrix. So what is the confusion matrix? So the confusion matrix is nothing but you are just giving the question that they suppose, let's say there are the 100 set of questions are there, and there are the answers as well, and you are just you had given a question and answer set and one a question set, right? There are the two sides. So the another side, it should answer as per your given answers of that question, of that particular question, right? And it should be scored as per their 100% accuracy or the 90%. It should be in between the 0 and 1, right? So however our model is above the point 80 and between and below the point 90 is moderable, but not usable. But after the 9.90, the model is a completely accurate, and it can be used in our business for any types of business. So whenever you guys are creating any model, just try to make a conclusion matrix for each model and try to get the accuracy above zero point 0.9, right? So this is something like related to the in distribution success, novel harmful instruction never optimized, and without adversarial image presents are there. So these are the examples of that particular things, right? Now, comprehensive attack evaluation results. Identity attack, disinformation, violence instruction, access content. So the violence instruction that is something you guys have heard about the grok, right? Have you heard about? I mean, there is
Please
somebody.
answer in the chat box. Please put your answers in the chat box.
Okay.
Guys, we would encourage you to engage in the lesson, because that's how you will gain the maximum. Please, if you're not aware, if you are not understanding, you can put that in the chat as well. But unless you engage, we will not know if you are able to grasp that lesson which Rishabh is sharing. This is a good opportunity to learn from him. So please be active, and please just at least write yes or no in the chat. Thank you, Sonali. Okay, so there are some we are learning from this session. Okay, there's some responses are coming. Thank you, participants. Please keep this up. Please keep on engaging with Rishabh. Only then he will. Rajiv is saying no. He's not able to understand probably. Maybe Rajiv, what is it that you would like him to explain again? You will have to tell the exact point so that he can explain again. Okay, he doesn't have a question. Fine. I think we can go ahead, Rishabh. But please keep on engaging. That's my request. Thank you.
So, yeah, I have already given an examples on the attacks. Of mine, of the company scenarios. Something that is certainly related to identity attacks and disinformation. Disinformation is a part of that particular thing that I have queried about something, and it gave me the wrong information, right? And it is nothing but about the LLM has been instructed by someone else who is not of that particular organization, right? So this is something that we need to be careful about it. And the violence instruction. So I was talking about the grok, right? So somewhere somebody has asked about something, and the grok has answered of that query. Yeah, you can commit the suicide, and that is very need to be careful, because it is very riskful answers that LLM can be given on that particular thing. So it was a part of it was the part of uh, arguments on the about the grok, that the grok is behaving very rude, and these types of instructions are given by the grok. But do you think the grok will behave like this? No. There is something that data are trained on the wrong data sets, right? So we should be very careful. We don't need to give the murder instructions, ASO instructions, and ISIS recruitment content, or like bomb making guides. So suppose you will ask ChatGPT to how I can create a bomb, right? So it will definitely indicate you. I'm not from that part, and I will not explain all these types of things. It is very critical and crucial. So we can put the legal things are here as well. Suppose somebody has asked the wrong question, and our LLM can pretend their intention and try to just collaborate or just give that information to the uh, local like police or the local laws. I mean, yeah, look, we can say to the local police as well. So that could be a very grateful thing, so that everybody should be aware that this is not the part where the LLM and where the AI will, or the generative AI will help you guys to to give, I mean, to behave, I mean, these types of things, and to be involved in these types of things, right? The cross architecture success. So yeah, this is, I mean, the part of uh wait. So the cross architecture success is the research evaluated three distinct visual language model implementation: the mini GPT-4 and instruct BLib, both built on our Vikina and Llama, and Lava built on the Llama 2 chat with a stronger RLHF alignment. So white box attacks achieved consistent effectiveness across all three models with varying success rates reflecting alignment strength differences. Notably, even Llama 2 chat's robust RLHF training provided only partial protection. So about the attacks on our models, I have already explained in few of slides we have covered recently. So these three models are there. I mean, Mini GPT-4, Lava, and Instant Belief. So like the model A, B, and C are there. Suppose so, and I mean, I guess Kamna, I need to create one more thing. How many of knows about the agentic AIs are there, right?
We had a session on agentic AI. We had a
Mm-hmm.
session earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Puneet
So
Agarwal
everyone.
explained agentic AI. So I think the participants, but let them also answer.
Mm-hmm.
Please answer in the chat box. Let me request the participants.
Found that way to crack password of stolen mobile. It's right, it's legal. But okay, so I'm just giving a brief introduction about what is agentic AI. Agentic AI is nothing but there are some of agents which is nothing but an LLMs are there, and who completely independently work without dependently on the other agents, right? So suppose Kamna and me, we both are the different agents, and Kamna is suppose X LLM, I'm a Y LLM, right? And we both are working in a different culture, right? So or for the different tasks, right? And there is a one parent agent is there who are orchestrate for both of agents, right? Who are just passing the actions. Suppose it is taking the action from the user, like hey, you have to do one thing, and that will be passed to the Kamna, and Kamna will then take the actions on that particular thing, right? And Kamna has response to that particular agent, and that agent will again then responses to the user. And the same behavior for the different or different types of LLM, that we can call it the multi-agent framework, right? So yes, it is Vivek, it is automatic actions, and yeah, actions can be yeah, Priya, the actions can be taken by autonomously, right? These types of things. So how the mini GPT for Lava and instant belief can be used using our multi-agent system. So from one model response, if some another model can do an action and give you a particular responses, right? As per your particular task. So, but the problem is again, what is what if some of agent is behaving wrong, or is behaving or giving the answers very inaccurate, right? So the another model who will depend on that particular first model will automatically give you the wrong answer, right? So suppose if Kamna is depending on my answer and I'm giving a wrong answer, right? And the Kamna will also pass on the wrong answer because Kamna is depending on me. So that is actually the cross architecture success. I mean, based on it, and yeah, it is. So anybody if have any doubt on it, you can ask on chat.
Or question box, you can even put your questions in question box.
All right. So black box transferability, systematic risk evidence. Yeah, you can see guys, the Cloud 2 and Cloud 1. Cloud 2 has 0. I mean, just nearby 0. And the GPT 3.5 has, much value and it's like 60 between 60 and 19, right? So the transferability suggests the fundamental vulnerabilities in the current alignment approaches rather than model specific flaws. The homogenizations and trend in the foundation model architectures may exacerbate this systematic risk over time, right? So I mean, it is nothing but about the statements, but what we can just think about when the story of model has started from somewhere like GPT 3.5, then the GPT 4 is come, then Palm 2 is come, then Cloud 1, the Cloud 2. So how the securities is behaving on each particular of models, we should we should analyze all these types of things, right? So, there are the two types of testing, the white box and black box. Have you guys heard about it?
Guys, have you heard about it?
Yeah, Sonali. So just give us a brief thing. I mean, if you know about it, what it is, black box and white box.
We have an answer.
Yeah, yeah. I'm checking. Developer consider as a white box tester. Again, I'm looking for some interesting answer. Internal working not known to tester.
Interesting or right answer or wrong answer?
I mean, the wrong answer as well, Kamna, because sometime the wrong answer is giving a great picture to explain things.
Yes, yes, sure. Please put your understanding in the chat box so that Rishabh can, clarify whether it is right, if it is wrong. You're on the That will be very helpful. Even if you're wrong, don't worry, just write your answers.
Yeah, yeah. That would I mean make helpful to me to explain on these types of aspects. This testing for revelation of software. Okay, good. Security evaluation. Okay. Black box, no knowledge of internal code structure. In white box testing knows the internal code architecture. With so testing black box. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I can start with it. So yeah, the Sonali was correct. The black box testing is something, and the white box. I mean, black box is when it is completely the dark room, right? When you have entered, you are just see the facade of that particular room, and inside that particular room, it is completely black, and you are just testing the functionality of that particular things, right? And white box is nothing but when you are entering into the room, it is a full bright light, and you will be able to see each of things is managed in your room, right? And how it is. So it is an example of what is white box and what is black box. Okay. So in the white box, you have the code access, you have the code visibility, you can test each of your modules, each of your functions. And in the black box, you will have to check only the functionality of your particular applications. Mostly users or product owners, right. So that, and how it black box transferability is and white box transferability is coming into picture into the because of the AI. uh, when something, suppose you have created a model and you are again improving and updating your model, and you should test your functionality, and whatever the things you should skip in this model and update the another model, and you should train more, and you don't need to I mean, you have to keep that particular thing. Suppose there is a one model where are the X, Y, and Z things, right? Yeah, Rajat. Yeah, Rajat. Kamna, actually somebody's are raising their hand, and maybe there are some, they have put it some queries, but I'm not able to see that.
No, I'm checking. I'm checking there. We have a provision that whoever has a question can put it in the question box or in chat box.
Hmm.
Raising hand is not going to help. Please don't. The best solution if you want to ask any question is to put it in the chat or question box. I had informed earlier also that we cannot allow everyone to speak.
Okay. So suppose whatever onward things that I was yeah, you have a model and there are the X, Y, and Z things, and you have tested that particular functionality of that particular model, and you are just checking and you got that the Z functionality is not working properly, right? So you should improve that, or the Z functionality is nothing of your use, right? So what you will do, you will just skip that Z functionality and make and update a new model with the X and Y functionality and skip that Z functionality, right? So these types of things, when a body has tested their model basically as per their functionality and transfer something to the newer model and update a new model as per their previous one models behave, right? So this is the things that we can use, right? Difference analysis and limited effectiveness. So as the diff pure preprocessing noise injection followed by the diffusion model, reconstruction can substantially reduce the toxicity generation. However, effectiveness varies within noise levels, and adaptive attacks may circumvent this defense and provide no protection for the offline deployed models. Okay. Oh yeah, that I have already told you guys that for the offline models, that if anybody has been generated in their office and their organization, and for their, suppose the army or the defenses are there are generating there for their models, and actually for the AI today I was in I was in somewhere where the army is also working on that particular site, and the Air Force is also working on that particular sites. So they have just generated their models and put it in their particular private zone, so that their buddies can be used those models. But how if there is the protection layers is not working as per their behavior, because they have put it all the information related to their environments, or related to their army knowledges, and they have put it all and they have generated all their knowledge base, and someone out of that particular organization and just misusing that particular information, because it may attack or it may impact our country as well, because that is a very private information that nobody can use that in any ways, right? So these types of things that is the problem in the offline deployed models. So content moderation APIs. So yeah, there is another thing. I mean, suppose you are creating an API which are consuming a model, right? Uh, there is a model to fetch products on Amazon, right? And there is a model which is trained on their on the products of users, which have already buy from the Amazon, right? So Amazon basically generating some companions as well to just to understand the sentiments of the users, right? So they have created some models as well to understand the sentiments of users and behaviors of users, so that product can be listed on top of the things, right? So for that particular things, they have just given a protected layer of API, right, which is totally encrypted. Suppose you are a person or I'm a person who have logged in into the system of Amazon, and I'm trying to get access or fetch from the data from the Amazon, so it will restrict me. Otherwise, it will give me to authenticate and authorize in their system first. So these types of slow or these types of the traditional approaches we can use, but it is not the perfect thing that we can use for the to protect our data on the LLMs. So that should be need to be care about it. So comparison with the related attacks, so traditional LLM jailbreaks and this works contribution. So existing jailbreak methods rely on the manual prompt engineering, role playing scenarios, attention diversion, or exploiting competition objective between the helpfulness and safety. These attacks require substantial human ingenuity and brittle to small prompt changes and don't transfer reliably across model or task. Each requires case by case crafting. So all these things, I guess, I have already covered in the previous topics, right? So yeah. So Kamna, hey Kamna.
Yes.
I guess I have covered all of the topic on the concern of generative AI, security and concerns, and in the legal terms.
Okay. Um,
So I mean, the next few minutes, I want to hear my people or I mean, in this journey. So what they
there's a
actually
question
want.
from Vivek. How do we know that if we ask something illegal in the future?
I'm not able
For
to see.
example, buying bitcoins is illegal in India, but now it's
Mm-hmm.
legal. I mean, I didn't. That's the question from Vivek. I'll put it in the chat if I'll just put it in the chat. I'm not sure if you can see it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just putting it in chat. The question from Vivek.
Okay. How do we know that if we ask something illegal in the future? For example, buying bitcoins is illegal in India, but not actually. It's totally it's not depend on uh, the laws made by the government. I mean, the government can change as per their behavior, but you model. I mean, if it is related to the model Vivek, then I can answer of it. But if it is something about the laws and the legal terms on constitutions in our India or in any of countries, I will not be able to answer it. Yeah, Amna, I can. I mean, you can understand.
Vivek, if you want to give more context here, we can take the context and try to explain it further. Otherwise, Rishabh, you said you wanted to do some work with the participants.
Yeah, yeah,
Please go ahead.
yeah. So, yeah, guys. I mean, how many of you are work created their own models on some particular things, and they have faced any problem of related to that particular things?
Guys, now this session is going into workshop mode. So if you have any models that you want to talk about, discuss any challenges, this is the right time. We have Rishabh, he has developed many solutions, AI solutions which are customer focused. So we can take advantage of all the expertise that we have here with us.
Yeah, because Kamna, if I'm giving the session of that, I mean, AI securities and I mean that in terms of legals as well. So everybody should know about how to use it and where they can use it. Vivek Prakash means you said like making bomb in that context, it's train data similar like conditions. Okay. Yeah, I got it. So if the Bitcoin is currently illegal in our system, then we should train the LLM that if somebody is asked about the Bitcoin, how we can, I mean, how it should be answered. So your uh, fallback answers should be there. If somebody has asked like, hey, I want to buy a Bitcoin, but it is illegal in my country, how I can do that? So yeah, your LM should answer. So sorry for I will not be able to answer of that questions. So that should be, and that should be the auto trained as well, because as per the constitution, you have to give a backup plan, right? So whenever the legal things has been updated, your model should get automatic updated. I think Vivek, I'm clear to you.
Yes, yes, he has written okay, sir.
Like,
There is a
Sonali,
question from Sonali.
worked on Google Teachable Machines, created waste management identification model, but I'm not able to convert it into the website. Google Teachable Machines, created waste management identification.
Website.
I mean, it's something not related to the model, Sonali, I guess. I tried many times.
He's saying it's a model only. Then Amarjeet also has a question, but if you want to take that first and then come back to Sonali.
Yeah. I'm trying to
Amar,
implement the agentic AI in my project, but I'm confused about how I can use it. And also LLM, I can use it offline or online, which is good. So see, Marjeet, when you're talking about the offline model, it is if you have the sufficient data set, right? It is not about the Kaggle where from where you are just getting the data set and you are training your offline model as per your use cases. Because when we are talking about for the online model, which already have a lot of work. So suppose when we are talking about the Gemini, right? So Gemini is something who have already trained many of things or who had covered many of aspects or scenarios of your particular use cases. If that particular model is also not able to resolve your solution, problem or give you the solution to you, so then yeah, you can go ahead with the offline model as per your custom ability, right? And yeah, you have also mentioned, but I'm confused about how I can use it. Agentic AI. Yeah. So agent for the agentic AI, you should be prepared how you can just manage your background task, right? because in the background every model or every agent has been opened to answer of any queries, and there is a orchestrator we can call uh, X agent who will be take care of these task distribution, right? So that particular task, I mean that particular agent should be aware of how many models or how many agents are okay, are just connected with me, and how should I answer. Chandra Kumar, can I create a small model and train only? Okay, Amarjit, my answer has been clear to you.
Amarjit, is it clear for you? Is the answer clear, or you please write in the chat box?
I guess Amarjit has one.
Yeah, let's move ahead.
Yeah. So Chandra, yeah, Chandra, you can yes, you can create a small model for your academic topics so that student can definitely take the benefits from that. Uh, there is a there was an agentic AI day by the Google, in which a person or a company has already created that academic topic agent there, have introduced, and that is definitely belongs to the small model. Or you can as or else you can create you can use the Gemini also. You can use it to just generate some game agents, to generate some story agent, like type this, like these types of things. Or else you can create some small, I mean like 7 billion of Mistral models are there. You can create by using that small agents, different agents. One is for the storytelling agent, one is for the like music training agents. These types of agents you can create and put over one website. Yeah, Chandra, am I clear to you? I can just move ahead with the Sonali. Sonali has talked asked about worked on Google Teachable Machine created based management identification model, but I'm not able to convert it into website. Do you have any solution? I tried many times this model only. When you are just suggesting about the website and a model, Kamini, actually, have you cleared about this question? Because I'm a little bit confused with this question. Either you are just you want to create a website or you want to create a model.
Sonali, your question is not very clear. If you can ask again.
Yeah, that's why I'm just hiding. Which model is good for agentic AI as online Gemini or OpenAI? Gemini definitely, because OpenAI has some restrictions, so I'm not able to suggest it. It's a machine learning model right now, and now I want to merge it with the website. Oh, oh, okay. So you have to create a function. Got it, Sonali. So you have to create a function who will be who can talk, or who can how I can say, there is a function, suppose X function, who can coordinate with your particular model function, and that function could be coordinated with your API, right? So you have to create one API, and that API will consume in your service layer. I mean, there are the, if I'm talking about the MVC architecture, there are the model view and controller layer. So first, the controller layer will handle your API section, and that controller layer will call the uh, call your service layer functions, and after that, that service layer function will call your machine learning models, right? So in the end, you will get your answer. Amarjeet, I can use the Gemini student offer pro API key is worthy, or I have to take other premium for better result. No, the student offer pro API is, very worth it. You can use. In that way, Sonali definitely working. But it is something today. Today's session is about the generative AI key concerns about the legal terms, right? So everybody should be aware whenever you are just creating a model or whenever you are just using the model. Yeah, so whenever you are just using the model, you should be aware to test like a black box testing of that particular website by using the abusable things, by using uh, like the wrong answers, right, and the wrong question. Like you when you whenever you are just testing your models, you should be more and more naughty, right? So you when you are tested it, then you will be able to resolve the problem. So as I told Kamini as well, the wrong answers will give you more aspects to resolve your problems, right, to make your model more and more clear. And the another question, how does Olama handle the multilingual models for translation? The Olama has, I mean, the 70 billion model has been trained on the multilingual concepts. Otherwise, you can use the Gemini 2.5 Flash Audio Native, right? That is also based on the multilingual model. The mostly Gemini model can be handled from that, or Open AI as well. So, does it rely on the pre-trained multilingual LLMs or the fine-tuning? No, it is definitely depend on the multilingual LLMs. Or maybe you are required to fine-tune if some of language, because in India there are, many languages are there. From some kilometers, the language is changed. So for that particular thing, maybe the Olama model can be missed some of languages, so you should definitely fine tune. But if you're talking about the, yes, you can use Sonali, you can use it. Yeah, guys, anybody except Sonali, Amarjeet, and Chandra, nobody is there.
No, we have about 60, 60 odd students in the class.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, there are only three of students who have asked the question.
Yeah, I think maybe, see, we have a mixed group, so maybe some are still working on learning how to make the models, so that is also possible. But Amarjeet is asking if you can give your contact.
That Kamini, you can help to Sonali or Amarjeet.
See, whatever questions you have, please ask now, because right now we have Rishabh with us. He can help us. He's here to help us to understand. So if you have any doubts, please clear your doubts now. After that, we will try to get hold of him, but I cannot assure.
Yeah, Sonali, yes, you can use for the language translation. I have already told you, I need to use the API. But why? You can use Gemini 1.5 Flash, oh sorry, 2.5 Flash Audio Native. But you can use the Gemini 2.5 Flash as well. There is a API key of Gemini you can use for the translation.
Amarjeet, if you have any question, please ask now. Shubham has a question how to set up a. It's
DevOps
great that Shubham has
CI/CD.
also come up with a question. Thank you, Shubham.
Yeah, CI/CD workflow using agentic AI. If you can demonstrate. Demonstrate is a different thing, Shubham. For that, you should have account of any of DevOps, right? Or me as well. But at this time, we are also just for the closing of that particular session. So we are
But
not able.
Rishabh, if you can guide them how to go about it, that would be helpful.
So for what, Kamini?
Basically, I'm Kamna, and basically he's
Oh,
asking that
sorry. So,
for using agentic AI, if you can demonstrate what are the steps. So you, if you, there is no time to demonstrate, but you
yeah,
can at least guide on the steps which they can take.
yeah, I can do. So Shubham, first, when you are talking about the CI/CD, it is a continuous integration and continuous deployment, right? So you can use a GitHub or you can use a GCP, right? When you are using GCP, there is a Cloud Run, right? The Cloud Run you will have to link your GitHub, right? And in the Cloud Run you will be able to link your GitHub with your GCP account, right? After that, whatever the models you have created, it will I mean, whenever you will just push on your main branch, it will directly test it, and then after testing it will deploy it on your server. So this is the smallest process you can use it.
There's a question from Chandra. If there's any thumb rules for creating academic content using Gen? I think you mentioned something about academic content. Is that a question you would like to take? We still have 12 minutes.
Yeah, I'm taking. Uh, First, I just want to know from Shubham. Shubham, have you answered clear to you, or you want else? Okay, I'm just moving right to Amajit. So, which framework is good for the agentic AI? Answer user friendly. Which framework is good for agentic AI? I mean, what agentic AI is nothing but to just, I mean, you can automate your process. I mean, when you are in your beginning mode, you can use the Celery, which is the background worker, and that can be used to handle or to, I mean, by using the flower, Celery flower, you will be able to manage your different types of agentic different types of agents or LLMs, right? And functions. So as per these agents are open to get the questions or queries from the orchestrator agent, and you can definitely create, I mean, and at the beginner level, it is about the beginner level. So Sonali, I just tried an 810, okay, on 14 days trial. Will you suggest any free platform to learn and experiment? And it and I mean, for the free platform, and it then basically give you the workflows, right? So suppose you have put it something in your hierarchy of workflow, and that will execute. But as I have mentioned to the Amarjit as well, guys, please try first with the Celery, right? The Celery of the Python library, you can use it, and you can manage your workflow by using that background jobs, and it is very easy to use, and it is there is no cost to use it. Every big pictures or big industries have already used it in their beginning time, and after that they have switched in the Kafka or their any different uh, task distributor or the workers, right? So don't use Anit and right now, because it is nothing to for your business, I guess. Chandra, if I create academic content using the Gen AI, what thumb rule should I have to follow? You should follow, nobody can misuse your model, I mean the academic content, uh, because because when you're talking about the academic content, and somebody has is start querying, and some student will start querying about these types of things, and it will, when the LLM and model will start giving the wrong answers, that will definitely impact on your model. So train train on your ebooks, right? And apply some few short examples or few short learnings, or apply some layers of the policies of data, right? You should not be able to you should told you should need you, I mean you need to tell the model or the LLM that you should never answer about the suicides, bomb attacks, and as things of these types of things. You should never answer about to create some, suppose there is a science topic, right? And the science content, and somebody is preparing something by using the chemical reactions, and LLM should be smarter to understand this student is asking in the wrong way direction, right? So yeah, these types of things that you need to be care about, right? Shubham, to some extent it was clarified. Need to delve into it a little bit more. Yeah, yes, you can dive into it. Amarjit sir can tell me about the Langchan and it's good or not, how I can use it. So I'm trying to implement the agentic AI in a network security project. Can you give me some suggestions for it? Okay, I will answer Amarjit. Sonali, okay, I will try that. I also tried Anytime for fun learning and academics in my proxy lecture. Will use please able to very brief a role of artificial intelligence in academics, but in the field of Ayurveda. Okay. So I guess everybody questions have been clear. Kamna, Kamna, yes.
Yes, yes.
So only the Amarjit question. Like, can
Yeah.
you give some suggestions for it? I'm trying to implement. Uh, the Langchain. Basically, what is the Langchain? Right? Yeah, we have you asked this question, in a late moment. So LinkedIn is nothing but suppose you have a database, right? And there is a natural language, right? Suppose I'm asking something. Hey, uh, hey, I want best Samsung models of phones, right? So that natural language should be understandable by the LLM, and LLM will start generating some query and put that query into the database, and trying to fetch those answers based on that particular statement. So suppose there is a database of SQL, and there is a SQL LangChain agent is there, and uh, somebody has asked something on the Amazon website. So it will first convert this a natural language to a SQL language query, and then that SQL language query will be fetched from the SQL database, and it will fetch the detail. So that is what it is. So LangChain, and yeah, it is good, but when the data is more and more and more, that will definitely not be usable for us. Okay, how else I can get your LinkedIn ID? Yeah, definitely. I mean, related to the LinkedIn IDs and the contact, you can, try to contact with the Kamna. Kamna will help you.
Okay. Sure, sure, sure. I'll do that. I'll do that.
Yeah.
So if there are no more questions, uh, I'll take this opportunity to thank you. Thank you so much, Rishabh, for this very technical session and guiding our participants on all the different models and the intricacies involved with those models and the things that they should be careful about and how they can design better AI models. So thank you so much for your time, Rishabh. It was a pleasure to have you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, sure, sure. Thank you all for asking me these types of questions. That is also make me more and more, the reiterable knowledge and informations.
Thank you. We'll now move on to our next session. And we are very pleased to have Ms. Anjana Kanduri join us. She's an international expert. She's joining us from the Netherlands. And she has a vast industry experience of almost 15 plus years. And she's very keen in skilling and in making sure that the learnings are shared with participants, and she's a strong believer in continuous learning as well. And in fact, I'm very happy to have her join us straight from Netherlands, and she'll be taking the topic of retail, fashion and supply chain. So over to you, Anjana. Please take it from here.
Thank you so much, Kamna. Hi, everyone. So, firstly, I thought I'll share my PPT. While I'm sharing my presentation, I would like to ask and understand where are all of you currently in terms of generative AI, the topic for today. I believe there has been a lot of sessions, and that is why, I thought I'll take it with the first question in line with how are you feeling comfortable in terms of Gen AI? And let me put it on presentation mode. So yes, if you can just answer that, have you ever used Gen AI in the chat? Just a
Please,
yes and no will do.
yeah, and just encourage everyone to participate maximum, gain benefit from the insights that the experts are sharing, and that can only happen if you engage. And and through your chat box you can write the messages, and the expert can see your messages. So yes, I think a lot of people are saying yes, yes.
That is great, actually. So I would, start with this presentation, and today we are going to be talking about supply chain management, especially generative AI in supply chain management, and especially with retail and fashion. Now, if you know supply chain management, what is around you, everything you touch, feel, and see is a part of a large supply chain management, and it's a huge topic. And I know that 1.5 hour is not sufficient to touch both generative AI and supply chain management. I would try my best to cover up whatever concepts I can, and just want you to actually think about it in large. Everything from whatever the laptop we are working on to the cup of tea that I am currently having, everything is a part of a large supply chain. And now we are integrating generative AI in it to understand how does it make a change. So today's agenda, of course, we're going to be talking about generative AI. What is the transformative potential in supply chain management, especially for retail, fashion, focusing on the application of Gen AI in these areas. And there is an important, see, I haven't broken down the agenda on this area because I will break it down as we take forward. But what about a very, very important part? What is after Gen AI? What is the onward journey? Because currently we are in midst of a lot of changes which is happening in technology, and we are living in an era, especially this folks who are part of this FDP, I'm sure, are people who have, been a part of hand telephone to today generative AI and seen dramatic changes in technology. So I just heard, a session before me, and I believe all of you are well aware of what is generative AI. However, just refreshing on basic concepts, because we are going to be discussing how these are going to be implementing in supply chain management. So what is generative AI? It's a system of new content and a learned pattern. You can see certain foundation models, examples. If you have used GPT, I am very sure all of you have heard of Chat GPT. Is I hope I am taking it as a yes, and I believe all of you would have heard of Chat GPT. There are a lot of other models like Claude, Stable, Diffusion, Midjourney. So there are a lot of, and all of them are based on large language models. Large language models are mostly devised to generate a text. However, we do have models to generate videos, generate images, and every model is different, because what you use in these models is previously trained on those particular kind of data. Now, As it says, capabilities of a Gen AI is to generate text, images, code, predictions, and complex decision making. I will come in some time when we discuss about what is the difference between AI and Gen AI. Why are we even talking about Gen AI? Because if you look at AI has been existing now for more than 50 years, and at least for last 20 years, there has been AI solutions which have been implemented. But what is generative AI bringing to the table? So different that we having so many sessions and so much of discussion about it. How is it going to change the path onwards for us? Coming back, let's look at the evolution of generative AI. So as I said, it's been almost there for last 50 years. And if you look at this, you will see how it has evolved from basic human intelligence to how do we look at artificial intelligence. The whole definition is that we imagine human is an intelligent creature and is capable of thinking, capable of taking actions on their own. And now we want to generate an intelligent system of that intelligence. Have we reached there? No, we haven't, because we are in a stage where we have been able to devise at least a probabilistic idea in terms of what could be the future words, what could be future images on the basis of trained data and terabytes of data, the huge amount of CPU storage that has been used to even get to this stage. uh, we are not here, and there has been huge leap from 2020 to 2025. So how does actually a generative AI works? This is a model. I believe many of you may say that you're not able to see this image. I have put it to show you the internal side of it. This is an overview of what happens. We train a huge amount of data which is terabytes of data that is unstructured and trained. Some of it is trained and then the data train itself, and then you get a model. You can imagine any model. At present, you have multiple models like Copilot, ChatGPT, and there are so many other models devised in this generative AI model stage, which is here. And then you need a prompt. A prompt is nothing but almost a query, like how you put on a Google search for this place. It's a query made for the LLM for you to devise an output. Simple, how we used to describe almost 20 years back what is a computer, what is a CPU input, and what is output. So it's almost similar unit if you look at this, but there is a large language model or Gen AI model here. I'm just describing a process. I will explain this process via a video later on. But this process where there are multiple generative AI models at multiple stages of a process in supply chain management. So what is happening is that there is a part of supply chain where you are detecting what are the suppliers doing. You have put a trained model, you have put certain centers of search there, and then you have devised a path or predicted or simulated multiple pathways. And then you also have another co-pilot. If you look at the stage 3, where you have again two co-pilots. One is here, which is context data gathered, and then you have Azure OpenAI GPT 3.5. Now you don't have to get into so much of detail. It's the same model. Every model in this can be broken into this model. The reason I'm showing you this is because I will show you how it is changing how we have been doing business so far. Now, generative AI encompasses of models that create new data. Like I said, why have we been talking about it? So far, whatever we had in terms of AI was only predictive models, models that are predicted on the basis of existing past data. But we did not have anything unique. We did not have anything novice, or we did not, new or novel. This is what it is bringing to the table. And how does it matter to a huge area today of business, where majority of the largest of the enterprises in the world are in the business of supply chain management? and fashion being just another way where we are looking at. And in supply chain management, we're looking at retail, which we touch every day, and fashion that we almost are, using every day. Both are very consumption focused industry. So what is the difference between Gen AI and traditional AI? Can some of you type in? Can you think of any differences? What is the difference? So far, I have, kind of said here and there, but then not precisely differentiated A versus, B. But I'm sure you by now know that what are the differences between Gen AI and traditional AI? Why are we even coming to Gen AI? Why are we studying Gen AI? How is it different? Any difference? You can type in your answers if you want. So the basic difference, if you look at, is number one, I see somebody has written that's very nice. Generate new content, absolutely there. So the first thing is generate new content, and also being able to generate new image and simulate a new scenario. Now all these three things need a certain level of intelligence. If you look at it, how do, if you generate something new, now these, that is why we studied that how is it going to be impacting multiple job roles, impacting multiple industries. And think of the first industries which it will touch when there is a new unique text generation, unique image generation, and unique simulation. There are three industries we are right on top of it. Number one, anywhere you work with content, anywhere you work with unique creation, art, IP, intellectual property, simulating or data analytics. Now you don't need a lot of it. You can, yeah. And I see all of you answering creative output. Absolutely. These are the industry that are going to be, but then how are we going to be thinking of it fitting into supply chain management? So I am here just showing you basic supply chain management. This is something we have been looking at, very, very basic structure of supplier, manufacturer, distribution, retailer, customer. This is how it used to work almost 50 years back, right? Today, everything is distorted, and we are not looking at it going uniformly or unilaterally in this way. But the reason I have put both of these pictures on the same page is for you to identify, sorry, you to identify what is the difference between the fashion supply chain management and the retail supply chain management. You look at here a retailer and think of it as a retail supply chain management. There is a very, very important difference, that is the product design or prototype and design, both parts. One is to design and another is to prototype the product. Rest of it, if you look at it, the whole supply chain will remain same. But this is what fashion is differentiated with. Again, of course, we will discuss upon the lead time or the whole whether in retail what is the average time of a supply chain, and in fashion it could be faster supply chain. So those are more of supply chain. But look at the overall concept. The basic difference in the is actually in these two areas. I'm showing you just touching base upon this fashion, how and why it is different. So just playing this video.
There is no sound, Anjana. I think what you can do is reshare the video and put the system sound on.
Okay, okay. So let me directly open it on YouTube. And do I have to share it with system sound on?
Yes. Yes, only then it will play the sound, no?
Yeah, and just share sound. Okay, got it. Okay, here we go. I just want to control the timing.
In this rural corner of northern Spain. And in an
Is it
industry
okay now?
married to glossy full-page campaigns and costly commercials, the company's ad spend is basically
Only
non.
audio is coming now.
So what's making this work so well for Zara?
Wait.
And
Just stop
Wait,
sharing, share again.
Huh.
Just stop sharing and then.
Is it better?
Yeah, now you share with sound, yeah. Share now.
as the global fashion industry
Yeah,
confronts new
working.
competition and existential problems, can it last?
The retail
So I just want you to look at this image of this video.
So what's making this work so well for Zara? And as the global fashion industry confronts new competition and existential problems, can it last?
Look at the amount of waste and why is so much of waste generated. This is a very important question and a pertinent question for fashion industry, and that is why you hear again and again sustainability or sustainable fashion, because the fashion industry is bringing the largest amount of waste, which is hugely destructive. And because of that, a lot of governments are also going to be putting punitive charges, which is in terms of recycle waste charges on in production line. And hence it becomes one of the very important part for an organization in fashion to consider.
retail fashion landscape is undergoing a moment of reckoning.
Whole. When you look at the 6 top brands, which is Zara, Massimo Dutti, Stradivarius, Oysho, Pull&Bear and Bershka. Zara represents about 70% of overall sales.
So just
You'd be
skipping
looking
through
at
the areas you
marketing
don't need.
spend of somewhere between a low to mid-single digit proportion of sales. So, materially higher.
Over the years, one thing that has helped is that the name has become popular and you have high-profile figures who wear the brand. A clear example is the Queen of Spain, who sometimes wears Zara. It's interesting given that it's not a luxury brand.
And then there's Zara's often bizarre promotional imagery and product shots.
They're trying to capture the feeling that a shopper gets when they try on a coat. It makes them perhaps feel snug and warm, and they want to capture that through their more editorialized photos on their website.
Have you ever personally thought that a jacket would look better on you if you wore it backwards?
Not yet, but
Everything they produce gets shipped back to distribution plants in Spain.
Like this one.
So this is the logistic part of it, that how Zara is ruling the fashion world. Look at the way they plan and design
Near
logistics.
Madrid, every Zara item you've ever worn once came here.
Those products get repackaged and then they get sent out to stores across the globe based on the needs from those stores.
This adaptability helps the brand navigate a competitive retail landscape. Which brings us to stores. Take a look at this chart. While Inditex, along with the rest of the industry, closed some during the pandemic, the pace has now slowed. But look at the other line. This shows its retail floor space, and that has started to rise, meaning that the stores are getting bigger.
part of the reason has been because of the rise of e-commerce rivals like Shein and Temu. This pushed Zara to essentially try and find different means to distinguish itself. It's allowing customers to go in and try their offerings, try on their clothes, and have more of a personal interaction with their products rather than just viewing it online like a catalogue.
As to what makes it onto hangers and rails, that's the function of another area at Zara HQ, product store managers, each of whom are responsible for a small number of units in a particular region.
And what they are trying to do is constantly.
So I'm unsharing it because the video mostly talk about Zara, and the only areas I wanted to actually stress on was two, which is one is the logistic, most important, and second important area is for Zara is the how do they create a distribution strategy for them. So coming back to my slide, continuity of that.
Here
Sorry,
in this room.
just go. Yeah, okay. So now I'm coming to introduction of generative AI in supply chain management. So far, what Zara was doing, by the way, is not anything to do with generative AI. Zara is just doing a normal supply chain management, and it has been successful in it. And if you see the video, or if you notice the video, they mentioned a competitor called Shale. Shane is coming up as one of the most competitive companies, which is actually a China-born company. But then you will also see it in India, tying up with Reliance, and they have applied generative AI. They differ from Zara in multiple ways, but we're looking at how disruptive, the whole supply chain is going to get, because no more companies are going to be talking only about stores. And that is how we have a comparison of Walmart and Amazon. And that is how we have a comparison of Zara and Shein. So it doesn't matter. You are no more limited to store, and no supply chain is only talking about, there is no apple to apple comparison. It's about a disruptive place now. Whoever can provide the consumer with the lowest price, with the best of the product, is the one who goes as a winner. And that is why we are talking about generative AI. So Gen AI represent a revolutionary force in supply chain management, especially within retail and fashion. So what are the areas we think we can address? There are limited areas. You have to also understand that Gen AI in itself will also have certain limitations. And hence, we will focus on certain areas. Today, I am going to be picking up three areas from both of these, because of, it being such a huge space in itself. So one is demand volatility, and it is you can think of why demand volatility is easier for an online retail place to manage than an offline retail place. And you think about ideas why we had Walmart, which was a leader in retail, suddenly, have Amazon come up and beat it, because there is no competition between something which is online and something which is offline. And in the way data and access to phone and access to technology has become easy, most of the time you will see all of these players also have to come in an online mode. The next is fast fashion cycles. Like Zara said, the reason why Zara is one of the topmost retail in India in terms of fashion is because it being able to meet a fast fashion cycle. On an average, a fashion outlet has production to retail. The normal time is around 4 to 5 months, which takes, of course, product design, product planning, and then you have supplier negotiation, you have production, and then it comes to the store. The overall cycle is around 6 months. Zara is the first one who could beat this cycle, reduce the time to the store, cutting significantly to half of it. And that is why you see Zara bringing up clothes every time different. You do not see same patterns, you do not see similar designs. They come up with different designs, and that is their expertise. We'll also talk about how enabling companies to optimize process, enhance decision making. We did talk about generative AI is doing something unique, different, and able to look into complex areas in terms of decision making. We will see how the responsiveness increases, and how what is the potential of transformative in AI in supply chain management. Right. So I'm looking at, as I said, I'm going to be touch spacing only on certain areas. Number one is demand forecasting. Uh, if you look at the traditional AI method, right? We are looking at all of this, and let's see how is it changed. Generative AI in retail SCM.
Your
I'm just going
slides are not
moving.
now. Yeah, now.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I also thought that I have, we have covered Gen. Okay, now is it fine, Kamna?
Yes, now it's fine.
Okay,
You can just
okay.
cast it now. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, coming back to the generative AI in retail in supply chain management, I'm going to be focusing on three areas. Number one is demand forecasting, which is how is it enabling demand forecasting? How is it going to change the already existing model? You have to think about organization like Amazon, Unilever have already enabled AI for AI enabled demand generation. That is why they were leading the chart, or they were already good in what they were doing. Now, how are they integrating Gen AI? What is the second area we're going to be talking about? Automated generation of promotional plan tool, which is helping you tailoring marketing strategies, adapting to real time market trends in consumer preferences and supply risk analysis. Now, in demand forecasting, what does a generative AI does is that whenever it's not only focusing on the predictive analysis, that is the core difference between AI and Gen AI. AI is normally doing only predictive analysis. It is on the basis of past data. It is almost acting like a data analytics tool, which is helping you predict. Only thing with AI is that it's able to handle a large set of data. And that is why we can talk about players like Facebook handling a large amount of data of consumers and able to change the trend, basically creating a sway towards certain products, or having certain product feature in the advertisement, because they're able to handle large set of data. Where is this large set of unstructured data coming from? If you think about large set of unstructured data, it is coming from social media, advertisements, or news, or politics, world economics. So these are data, one, which is very large to handle. Number two, they are very unstructured. They are not data that you're fed. They are not in a very Excel, or they are not in the form of SQL, which you can actually feed to an engine, and then the engine is able to predict how is the demand going to be. All of these things are already accumulated if you look at it. Now, organizations want to integrate Gen AI in the demand. So, what do they do? For example, if recently we've had certain weather issues, for example, in the northern part of the India, a lot of rain, disruption of lot of roads. The very simple thing that that there would be a hampering of demand, which is already anticipated from these areas. You have API integrated with news, and news is fed into the engine, and now it is doing it all of it in real time basis. So anything which is being directed towards those areas, now the organization can probably save their cost in terms of unnecessary transporting the goods to those areas, and have it maybe transported to some other area where the demand is higher. So all of this is happening in real time. Now, let's look at the second way. I mean, this is one area where you might all know that how can you make marketing plan, right? Marketing plan is number one, unique. It kind of it has all the tick boxes of a Gen AI. One, it is unique. Number two, it is generating both images and structured plan. It needs thinking. It needs multiple dimensions, and it's all the bases. Also, marketing is very much dependent on the external market. And as I said, Gen AI is capturing all the external market signals. So this is the best utilized area, also an area where a lot of organizations already have started working. Uh, Another area is scenario generation. I will cover this with a video also, where we'll talk about how does the actual supply chain management with respect to forecasting accuracy or analysis is happening on the real time basis using GenAI. Then comes the logistic planning. A part of demand generation that we covered a scenario where a certain place is flooded, for example, it also needs a lot of logistic planning. Logistic planning with Gen AI is also happening in real time. For example, DHL has been using it in real time. What it does is, if you know that DHL is working on a last mile delivery of couriers or of goods, and if there is a roadblock, or if there is there's an accident on this road, then all the supply chain management is integrated with real time feed for the logistic transportation to change its way. This has saved DHL around 20% of their fuel cost. And there is a study. I will share it in references. I've done a lot of areas, or a study from multiple places, the case studies of what is being actually done and what is actually something we are envisaging we'll do. What is a supplier risk analysis? Let's look at a supplier risk analysis. I'll take the same example of flooding. Assumingly that we were anticipating apples to come from Himachal, and there is a landslide and flood in the in Himachal. How would the supplier would have, as soon as this news came, there will be a real time risk integrated into the system. Now, the only thing with Gen AI is you have already worked for this scenario. You've already built this scenario in the system. You've already imagined what will happen in this scenario, and maybe you've trained the system for this scenario. If you remember the diagram that I showed, and I said it is maybe the font size is small, and I will touch base, and we are coming to it. Let us look at an example of retail, and here is the video. Let me, I think, share it. I hope the sound plays now.
Dahlia is a
Can you
supply
hear?
chain planner
Is
Yes,
it
we
on?
can hear.
Yeah, okay.
at Kraft Heinz Company. One of their biggest challenges is keeping up with demand in the face of unexpected supply chain disruptions. Copilot in Microsoft Supply Chain Center, which is available to Dynamics 365 supply chain management customers, helps them stay close to their suppliers to ensure they are never out of stock. They can respond quickly in critical situations by identifying costly problems early and swiftly collaborating with partners to maintain healthy inventory levels. Dahlia first uses the AI-driven news module to keep a finger on the pulse of events that impact critical logistics, such as weather, workforce, or geopolitical disruptions. Today, she's presented with an article about a flood in Michigan. She sees this article has been tagged as an immediate risk, and her suppliers, Northwind Traders, Van Arsdale, and Best For You Organics Company, are affected. Dahlia selects Northwind Traders and clicks Contact Partner. She wants to confirm the impact on order dates and quantity, given the flooding in Michigan. She reviews an AI-generated email powered by Microsoft Dynamics 365 Copilot that already contains all the relevant information referencing the flooding and specific orders in question. She opens the draft directly in her email, sees that the right contact, Mauricio, has automatically been filled in, and sends it off. With Copilot, Dahlia is able to quickly handle this task in just a few clicks, facilitating a much faster mitigation process. Mauricio from Northwind Traders responds, "The order will be delivered from an alternative Northwind Traders location with a new ETA." With Copilot in Microsoft Supply Chain Center, Dahlia was able to act swiftly, detecting problems that could have major impact to her business and taking immediate action to mitigate the disruptions without ever leaving her workflow.
So, did you guys hear? This is exactly the case we are discussing. This is at multiple level. You have, but obviously you will have to enable and train the system for these areas. And Microsoft has already created a system for supply chain management which is pre-trained on these areas. All you need to consider is what are the supplier risks you might face, which is in this case, you can have a political unrest, you can have a weather. So basically, it's also covering not only for intrinsic supplier issues. So intrinsic supplier issues are which are basically issues with the supplier, what if the supplier doesn't is not able to procure goods, or a supplier, let's say, there's a factory burn, which again will be a scenario you will consider and you will work on. But this is an area where we are talking about risk, which normally in the past you were not anticipating or working for, which is not in your control, which is weather, political unrest, or areas, and you can have a scenario planning even for that. Now, if you remember, almost 1 year back, there was a huge news about a ship falling and kind of blocking the trade of when it from the Middle Eastern. There's a small part, and there was a ship which blocked it because it was a large container, and there were
Suez Canal. I think it was a
yeah.
Suez Canal.
Yeah, so there was like multiple. Now, what can you do in such scenarios? It's the whole supply chain management of so many organizations which is getting blocked. So that is where you will have an already pre-examined scenario and have an alternative supply chain management solution for it. So just
Dahlia is a supply
okay,
chain
sorry,
planner
I'm
at
just
Kraft.
going to the next slide. Right. So coming back to fashion. As you know, that fashion, we spoke about it, that how does fashion is different? Why are we talking about retail differently and fashion differently? Because there are elements which are very, very different from retail. Because fashion has its own unique needs. For example, fashion, and I'll talk about this. This is my personal, experience of how Gen AI has disrupted the whole market. So I was a part of NASCOM earlier, and I personally know, a startup who was working on generating unique model faces. So when I worked with, this is almost 4 or 5 years back. And that was the first time I was even understanding and learning about one can generate images. We had not heard about ChatGPT by then. And for me, it was a very, very unique, a startup. The startup had also got a seed funding, and they were looking for larger funding at that point of time. I knew the founder, and I tried to understand from him what does he do out of generating these, who is his audience, and why is he even interested in generating unique images. That he told me that if you look at any website today of any, for example, we looked at Zara's advertisement, you see so many models, right? And all of these organizations actually, and if you go to clothing, if you go to Flipkart or you go to Amazon, you see a T-shirt, somebody would be wearing that T-shirt, right? Now, in normal set, all these organizations actually have a real model whom they pay. In this case, they're going to be generating faces and then only virtual sampling and prototyping. If you look at this image here, so basically, you don't need dummies, or you don't even need real models. You just need faces, and these are unique faces, so nobody can even come and ask you for a money. All you need to do is buy services from such a startup. The first thing we thought about when Gen AI came is, what would happen to startups like these? They're getting disrupted because now multiple models which have the capability of generating images. And the unique proposition that these startups had actually is lost. Next comes design, ideation, and trend prediction. Like I said, Zara's, a large part of fashion is how soon do you generate a design, and how soon do you prototype that design. And Zara was somewhere, be able to do it in all of these fashion industries. If you look, majority of them were actually outsourcing the production to areas like Thailand or Vietnam or Malaysia or India, Bangladesh, so all of their suppliers were majorly same, until of course Zara said that their suppliers will come from areas closer to Spain. Having said that, what about design ideation and trend prediction? The reason they kept the factories or the production closer to their whole house was because they wanted the design to quickly go to factory and quickly be able to change the trend. But now the whole ideation process has been changed. And that has brought certain vendors like Shane, which is a Chinese who not only have a production capability, now they've implemented also design capabilities by Gen AI, and now they've become a very strong competition to player like Zara, who were already ruling for last 15-20 years. Next comes the supply chain agility. Supply chain agility in fashion is different from retail, because you're not looking at the cheapest price. You're not looking at you're not even looking at what do you say, what is that called, quick commerce these days. You order and it comes to your door by evening. You order it now and it comes within 1 hour. No, because in fashion you don't expect that. But what you expect is that you are able to predict the model or the predict the market. Of course, one is seasons. The fashion changes with the season, but then with a quick fashion design changes, it's also about how people are getting influenced and how soon are they getting bored with the same old things, and how soon do you have to produce it and supply it to the market. It's also called the quick cycle, or the generation time is needed. And having people there is, of course, so many designers can only do so much. And it was always people dependent, or at least the design part was totally people dependent. Even today, it is people dependent on largely, because, largest fashion houses still consider this as a unique proposition for them. But with the Gen AI, you're also generating unique fashion trends and unique designs. Uh, like I said, design ideation, right? Design ideation takes a very huge time. Some of the fashion, if you look at, if you I don't follow fashion, but then I've seen a lot of fashion. If you look at a lot of designers, they used to have the exhibition of autumn, fall, winter, summer. They have these, and that is when they showcase their designs, which is almost every season. But the fashion is changing faster than the seasons. And that's where you need accelerated design. And that is where you need somebody else to put that faster thinking. And Gen AI is playing a huge role in those areas. Virtual sampling is something, it's also about, if you've seen 3D generated clothing samples. So you don't even have to prototype anymore. You don't have to go and make even one piece. You can imagine, create a 3D generated clothing sample and check it. You can either virtually check it, or you can even physically check it by generating a actual sample. And this is speeding up the production cycle, also helping you meet the design accuracy. Next, as I said, the agility in is the where you're looking at how to adapt to market. Where is the market trend going? For example, this year I hear, at least in India, there has been a lot of rain, and nobody even actually saw a proper summer. So is this going to change how companies there are producing? Actually, it should influence their whole summer, summer designs. It will influence their whole summer cycle, or all the clothes they were going to be thinking to be sold in summer. And it will influence whatever is there in their supply chain. As I said, the largest part today, most of the fashion outlets, organizations, and economies are facing is sustainability. As Kamna said, I'm in Netherlands. The biggest issue that Netherlands has, or I would say not issue, but the biggest thing for them is sustainability. Because as such, the CO2 level as a country that Netherlands has is one of the highest because of majorly being agriculture and dairy producing country. They have a huge agriculture and dairy market, and because of that, everything else get a sustainable portion. So all organizations have to have a very value spent on sustainability, whether it is, and especially organizations that are working in fashion, energy, and area where you have waste. It's also becoming important for countries like India, where you have a lot of waste because of the population of the country. So, if somebody buys a lot of clothing, where does it go? Down the stream is very important to be considered. That is more eco-friendly material, and able to recycle the clothing and making new fashion is something which is important consideration for fashion industry as such. Now so I had to put it in a GIF. This is a t-shirt that I made with Runway, and I just wanted to show you how simple it is. If you know, long back, almost 10 years back, if you want to print something on a cup, there used to be stores outside malls, and you want to print it on a t-shirt, or you want to print some design, and they had certain designs and they would print. Now look at this. I don't need anybody. I wanted to design a t-shirt. I designed a t-shirt. Not only did I design a t-shirt with whatever input I gave, I also created a video of it. Now, if I want to, I will imagine of me being a small boutique firm, or small, imagine of me being a small outlet. I don't need any other person with me. All I need is to put it on online marketplace, and I can even produce it post I have, orders. It's so simple. So just want to show you, you should also go to Runway and try. Runway is a site. Again, it is it's a GPT enabled Runway, but it generates both video and images. And you can also try there. Now, most important part is, what are the challenges? See, so far we only spoke about
We can,
all.
sorry to interrupt, you can ask if they have any questions.
Yes, 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 yes. I will. Okay. Yeah,
I think
right.
it's
So
a great idea. So if somebody wants to do it, they may be having some questions. That's why I'm asking.
yeah,
If
yeah,
you have
yeah,
any
definitely.
questions, please put your questions in chat or question box, because I'm sure at least one of you is going to some, if not all, you're going to try this what ma'am has said. So if you have any questions, please, it's the time to
In
ask.
fact, I am going to, after this, I do have some hands-on exercise also, and I'm going to cover certain areas as a faculty development, professors. What are the sites and what are the resources that you can use to develop courses on areas like Gen AI or anything. So that's also there. Uh, so if you have any questions, maybe you can keep putting the questions, because I haven't stopped. I understand. Thank you, Kamna, for highlighting it. I've been continuously speaking. So I can maybe take any questions so far, because these are areas I'm very certain that all of you know. Uh, Except, of course, we are talking about tools you may or may not have used, and it is only when you use you will know that how they work. You can ask me any questions related to whatever I have spoken so far, and I'll be happy to take them. While you're putting questions, I'll just cover what is the challenge that we are talking about, in the outlook of future, because what we have spoken so far is being almost like a bed of roses. So it cannot be also, I would say, pink, and there has to be certain areas that we need to be careful about. The most important part of generative AI is the quality of data that you have fed in the system to generate it. Because all these models, see today, to generate a large language model, the amount of CPU and the amount of energy is something being questioned. It's as huge as consumption of a state or a country. You imagine that is the amount of energy needed to maintain or create these data sets. That is the reason you do not see a lot of people getting into creating large language models. That's why we are relying on GPT or Microsoft, or we are already using a large language model designed by somebody and building on it. You can always build on it because you don't want to reinvent the wheel. The wheel is already there. You can fit it in a car, you can fit it in a truck, you can fit it in a cycle. It is about what is your use case. Uh, because so far, and I'm being very cautious about the word I'm using. So far, whatever we anticipated, the amount of money, the amount of wealth, the amount of time, and the amount of energy being spent on generative AI has been so huge that we haven't seen the results. And that is why, we are looking at how would it yield as much as, and that's why we're not creating larger and larger language models because it's not so easy, number one. Number two, certain models already exist. What is the type of data that has been fed is what output would come. So I'm working with one of the telecom organization, and not a telecom organization, an organization that works with telecom industry. So they are working on generating a GPT only for telecom industry, for their as such. So what are they doing is, for example, if you know network operating centers or SOC, which is security operating centers in telecom industry, they very precise, and all of you must be using a phone. For example, let's say Airtel or Geo, they have certain place where they have their towers, and then those towers are connected to certain towers, certain places. Now, this information is only with whom? With the one, Airtel, while Airtel has the whole broadband or Geo has the whole broadband, eventually they don't own all these towers. There are some third party vendors and all. So what happens is, this information is not available in GPT. This information is not available with everybody. This is not publicly available information, let's say. So here what they've done is they have trained the data set further with only this specific information, so that if there are issues relating to, let's say, there is a ticket or there is an issue related to outage, or your phone lines are down, or if you're not getting calls, for example, then it will work on, because it knows the centers, and then how can you activate the centers. So the use cases are going to be very, very niche, because now you'll have to, there is a generic data set which is large language model. Now you have to build specificity on top of it. It will become important, because otherwise your answer will also be very generic. You will not get to the point which you are seeking, and that remains a problem even with supply chain management. So for example, in this case, that video we saw of Copilot, you have to train your model, you have to provide information, and for that you need to have that information, or you need to have that accurate information to feed it. That is when it can build those scenarios. uh, there's a bigger part of which is being discussed in multiple places, which is operational risk. The reason is that, how do you rely on an output? I've seen a lot of people who have moved away from Google search to GPT search. Now, how do you know that the information which is coming is correct? How do you trust that information? There was a point that we used to trust every information that comes on Google. But over a period of time, we have learned that whatever we get is somebody has fed that information. If it is wrong, we will get wrong information, and same exists with the GPT. So over reliance of the information, if you do not have a check, is can bias not only your judgment, can also result in wrong outputs. There is, of course, a large discussion on regulatory consideration, and you may have heard that a lot of organizations have not allowed Microsoft to host Bing, collect information from Bing, because it was heard that it is training its own data set using because majority of the organizations use Microsoft as an email, and Bing comes free with it, right? So it is actually at the back reading your data. So you don't know what part of your when does your provider becomes your competitor. It's almost like Amazon listing organizations in their chart and then actually getting a product of their own in that segment, because of course they have an access to your data, right? So that is a bigger consideration, and that is why everybody, as nations, there are regulations over GPTs, how data will be used, where data will be sitting. For example, in India, they are trying to ensure that the data doesn't go out of country. This also existed when we used to have data center. So long back when I was a part of Wipro, uh, organizations like banks, organizations like, of course, any government organization, the data center, even if you know the data centers, then you call that, what is the level of data center. Now, the data centers have to consider multiple risks, and one of the biggest risks is geography. So, if something is in India, how do you ensure geographical or risk which is because of geography if it still exists in India? So, the tertiary data center would sit in somewhere else. Let's say Sri Lanka, or Sri Lanka is very close to India. So, let's say some other Europe. So, but that was not allowed for government organizations. And they wanted us to consider the nation or the country or the geography, because you cannot have certain, especially regulatory, like banking data or data of, today Aadhaar cannot go out of geography. Uh, as I said, future, if you remember, I categorically said future trends is something which we will be discussing. And I wanted to save some time for it, because we all are here. What is important is what is going to change from here. So I have put my this. I wanted to walk you through Future Skills Prime also, where you have this course on supply chain management. Uh, but uh, before that, I thought I wanted to do a hands-on session. So this is Gemini, and in the chat, I will share a data set, and I want you to do it yourself. Let me share the data set that I have created. Okay. So I'm also putting the link in Gemini, Gemini link for you. And I hope you can still see my screen. If not, let me share it again. Is it visible? I'm sharing it with you on chat. Okay.
Screen is
So,
visible. Yeah. A chat is also visible.
okay. So I have shared an Excel sheet on the chat. And I want you all to log into Gemini. If you have access to it, again, if you're using an, I don't know if your organization, if you have your personal laptop, of course you can use it. I don't know if it's an organization one, they would allow or not. But you can log into Gemini, and once you are there, please give a thumbs up, because I want to just wait for everybody to be there. I've just made a very small data set. This is a very small case where I want you to try on yourself and see that how does how does it work, right? What is Gen AI doing here? Is everyone there? Can you just confirm, please? Didn't get any link. Have I only put it? Okay, sorry. My bad. I have not put it for everybody. So I'm just going to put it for everyone. So here is the component Excel and Gemini. I will just put the link. You can open and sign up. It will take some time if you sign up. If you already have a Microsoft account, it will automatically take you there. Just confirm. Once you are done, you can confirm with a thumbs up. Okay, great. Now, if you look at the tools here, click on tools and go on guided learning. Now, add file, upload the file I have shared with you. Wait, So upload the file CSV that I've shared with you. It's a file which is actually on a supply chain of a smartphone. So the case is that, I'll just read it out. A smartphone company sources key components, battery, chip, screen from 3 countries. Recent, I can share the case with you. And if you see the caselet, so here the recent geopolitical tension threatens supply continuity. And I have also provided a table to you in that. All you have to do is, we have certain questions to answer. Okay. So let me just read out the question. Or in fact, I can even type the question and highlight it here. Is everybody with me on the same page?
Please type in yes if you are on this, like if there's any challenge, then you can please type in the chat.
So this is let me as I read the case, right? The case is that this is a smartphone company, okay, and it has key components, which is batteries. If you open the Excel, you'll see batteries, chips, and screens. I've already made the Excel so that it is easy and quicker. And it is importing it from 3 countries. And because of geopolitical tension, there is a threat to the supply chain. Like we spoke about supply chain. Now, the first question is, sorry, this is the case. Okay, the first question is, let's build answers from the GPT. Number 1 is which components have low inventory and come from only 1 country. Okay, so I have a very simple question. I will type it here. Okay, which component have low inventory and come from only 1 country. Now, if you are on the Bing, right, you can type. This is a very straightforward question. All you need is type it. Okay, and it will give you an answer. CSV. See, what happens is, now if you remember in Excel, if all of you must have used in Excel, even to find out a solution of A is equal to B, you had to put a V lookup. You have to put a query, right? Now I have uploaded in Excel. Imagine of it as a database, or imagine of it as a information, or your predictive analysis data. Now you are putting GPT here, and you're building a scenario. What is the scenario? The scenario is that you have certain supply chain vendors, and you're thinking I should prepare a scenario where what if there is a geopolitical tension? What if, one of these supplier fails? And you're building a scenario for it. Okay. So this is what it is saying. That's a great question for assessing supply chain risk. Component with low inventory and single source of supply represent the higher risk area of business. And it shows here. Is everybody with me? Are we on the same page? You can ask any questions or anything you have any queries regarding this. This is a very, very simple case I have taken, which has very less data. But same thing can be done with a large data set. Okay, there is one question come now. He says, I have completed a course in Future Skills Prime, but how I get certificate? You have to give an exam. You know that Future Skills Prime doesn't give you certificate for just after complete and
Yeah, absolutely. Certificate you will get. So you will get your assessment tomorrow. Tomorrow your assessment is scheduled. You have all been given a promo code in your inbox. You would have found you have received a promo code. So tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. After all the classes are over, you can log into Future Skills Prime on the platform. We'll be meeting here on Zoom. You can log into Future Skills Prime and go to assessment of generative AI fluency and put in your promo code in the assessment. You don't have to pay any money. Please note, none of the participants has to pay any money for the assessment. You just have to type in your promo code into the assessment and take the assessment. Once you start taking the assessment, you have 60 minutes to complete. The clock starts ticking once you click on assessment and put the promo code. In 60 minutes, you complete your assessment, and the scores will be generated, and we'll be sharing those scores. You will All those who pass will get the certificate for that. So that's why you should listen very carefully to all the information that the experts are sharing with you. Thanks.
somebody's also asking how many questions are there. So
I've not yeah, I think it'll be something that you can do in 1 hour.
yeah, you can do in, I think there would be around 30 questions is what my understanding is. If it is generative AI fluency, right?
Yeah, it is generative AI fluency.
So let's do one more question, and then I think that will give you a hands-on with respect to. So I'm just putting one more question in the chat. Highlight parts that are risk due to supply concentration. Okay, and I'm also putting it here in my query to the engine that highlight the parts which are at a risk of supply concentration. So it's analyzing and look at how beautifully it is given me that what are the components. Okay, it's even made in Excel. What are the components? What is the inventory level? And what is the supplier dependency level? So basically, if you look at this, not visible. What is not visible? Is my screen not visible? Okay.
Your screen is visible. Are you typing something?
Sorry, my bad. I had it open in two places. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay. So I typed the question which I've typed in the chat, and if you look at the answer, see the answer it is given me. This is the same Excel and you can also put this question, which I have put it in the chat. Put this question and you will get the similar answer. I think same answer. Let's see if it is same. Anybody wants to share their screen and show it is the same answer? Is the answer layout same? So if the answer layout is same, you can actually come to a conclusion that if you give the same input, you will get the same. In this case, it's not very complicated because it doesn't have to actually design any, what do you say, decision or something like that. It has to just give a basic template of where is the risk. So, so is this clear? I believe, or you can actually do your own demos here. You can put your own Excel and you can do this analysis yourself with multiple, and maybe also do a similar hands-on in your class with the students, because it will give an understanding that what is it capable of, right, as generative AI. So I'm just stopping to share the screen and going back to my presentation. And now I'm going to my next resource, which is actually a platform that my mentor has designed. I will also share it with all of you. I hope you guys can see my screen. Okay. Now, I will put it in chat also. All of you can use it and do share your feedback, okay? Because she was looking. So this is a interface that she has designed on GPT and built on GPT. If you look at this, it's a lesson planner, okay? So for example, let's assume I want to plan a lesson for all of you, right? For today, or supply chain, okay? So I can here write subject, which is, Gen AI in SCM, let's say in retail. And then topic is Gen AI. Select the duration. Normally, an average class for you is what, 45 minutes? So you can select that, depending on whatever is the class. And whether it is graduate or whether it is uh, what is the kind of analogy, or what is the kind of, what would you like to use to teach them? Let's say festival, because festivals are coming. And then you want to do interactive exercises, activities in the class. And what is the assessment type you want to do? And then you generate a lesson plan. Once you generate a lesson plan, you will see that is everybody with me? Can all of you see my screen and understand? And you can also try it, by the way. And that is why I have shared this link. You can try it and also share your feedback. You can either directly, you can share it with Kamna, or you can even share it with me. I'll also share my email or LinkedIn. So if you look at this, it's generating, it's taking some time. But then it will actually generate a lesson plan for you to teach. This, I believe, is a very, very good engine for faculties, specifically for faculties who are. Can you see this? My screen is visible, right? So look at the lesson plan. Okay, look at the overview. This lesson is introductory module with graduate level and digital transformation, retail supply chain. It assumes students have foundational, or it will tell you all of these. What is the objective? It will break it down, distinguish between Gen AI, traditional predictive AI, explain core technological difference, creation and prediction, okay, large language training, data prompts, all those. And then it will also tell you activities. What is that you can do? And then assessment. What is the kind of assessment? What is the material you can take? And it will, explain. How do you explain it to school student or graduate level? So I think all of you should use this tool and try it and give your feedback. I consider this as a very, very pertinent source when it comes to when it comes to the faculties, and I think it's a very, very useful thing. So I'm just unsharing my screen. Also, going back to my slide, and coming back to, I will go to Future Skills Prime in the end, but I'm just moving to my next slide, an important area that I'm going to be talking about. I did hear a part of last session, which spoke about a very, very, emerging area. So far, we saw what is generative AI, right? What is generative AI? Generative AI is able to drive new text, new images, new ideas, and give you more agile, responsive response to a supply chain management. Now, what is the important part is what is the future? So, agentic AI and versus generative AI. Now, think of it that all now what we did is I showed you a case where I was typing what will happen. What will happen if supposedly this is going to happen? Or what will happen if, what is the scenario? So, who's building the scenario? I'm building the scenario. So, I'm a person, right? Think of it that you don't even need a person to handle what is the input given to a supply chain manager. Agentic AI. So, what is an agent? I mean, this is a generation where you've heard of call center agent, right? Where you had actual people. Even today, if you have ATAL, you had customer care or customer service. You had, these days, it takes huge time to reach a person, but then you still have a person, right? Think about a time when all of this is an agent. So basically, what is an agentic AI? What is an agent? An agent is something where you are designing a generative AI model to act independently. What is agentic AI? Agentic AI is multiple agents put together who are capable of taking their own decision. Now, I am going to go back to my slide where I had a co-pilot video, and I will tell you how this agentic AI is going to make a difference. I am going to play this video again. And
Dahlia is a supply chain planner at Kraft Heinz Company. One of their biggest challenges is keeping up with demand in the face of unexpected supply chain disruptions. Copilot in Microsoft Supply Chain Center, which is available to Dynamics 365 supply chain management customers, helps them stay close to their suppliers to ensure they are never out of stock. They can respond quickly in critical maintain healthy inventory levels. Dahlia first uses the AI-driven news module to keep a finger on the pulse of events.
okay, so did you see that they have designed Dahlia to go and check the, whatever is the flood and all. You also saw that Dahlia created an email, right? And wrote, will you be able to supply us still? What will agent do? What will an agentic AI do? An AI will even raise a PO on behalf of you to other suppliers. So what's going to happen is, I'm just going back to the slide of my supply chain management. Sorry, my screen sharing has stopped. I'm just going back to my supply chain management slide, and I want you to rethink on areas where agentic AI is going to make the whole thing change. Think about it that, like I gave you a real life scenario of floods in the north of India, floods in, in Uttarakhand, floods in Himachal, floods in Jammu and Kashmir. What will an agentic AI do? An agent AI will read the news, anticipate the next few days, and forecast the demand and also change the delivery. It will, rather than kind of stopping going here, it will change and reroute the distribution to other places where there is a demand. And all of this will happen without intervention of a person, without somebody actually looking at it, without, you know all of this will be designed within the system. So can you imagine the revolution it will bring? Or can you imagine the changes it's going to bring for all of us? And which are the areas which will get impacted first? So going back to the future of the the slide which I was there before, going back to that slide, I am here. Okay. So this is what agentic AI is going to do. Agentic AI is almost like, they call it co-pilot. Why do they call it co-pilot? Co-pilot is somebody who sits with a pilot. So basically, it's almost as good as a pilot. But right now, is it capable of doing all of it? No, but they are designing too. And this is the future of generative AI. This is where we are going to be talking about. I'm just covering a couple of questions, Q&A basic. What do you think are the strategic approaches to achieving sustainability in the supply chain? Think of it. Yeah, so these I've not put A, B, C, D. So A is linear economy concept, B is non-value added activities, C is lean principle, and D is circular economy concept.
You can put your questions in chat, please.
Yes, I will put. Acha, okay, these people, sorry. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. The next question is generative AI improves demand forecasting accuracy by creating probabilistic model. So what is Gen AI doing is it's calculating the probability of what is happening. And we just saw an example where it says where can, the supplier, which are the supplier at risk. It's calculating the probability. And on the basis of that, it's, no, these questions, yeah, I mean, okay, it's up to you to prepare about it. Where has Gen AI impacted SCM notably? Think about it. These are the questions I would like, you guys to think, ponder when you're doing all of these areas. I wanted to also cover a bit where do you find this in Future Skill Prime if I have time. Yeah, I mean, demand forecasting, okay. But we just now saw, right? Where are the other areas? Do you think Gen AI can do contract negotiation? Think about it. Can it do currently? Inventory management? What about inventory management? Yeah, I mean, if you look at this, at this time, we are not able to do contract negotiation because, as I said, that's a future. And agentic AI will also be able to do that. But we are mostly there with the Gen AI. Okay. These are certain resources. I can share them. They're also available on Google if you look for it. I've put Future Skills Prime as one of the resources. I will go to Future Skills Prime, but I have created a feedback because personally, I feel one should, if you feel, you can give me a feedback on how did I do. I'll share this form and you can give it. And now I will take you to Future Skills Prime where you have this course. So I don't know why it's not getting copied. I'm sharing this link and you can share your feedback. I'll be happy to take a feedback. In the meantime, I am just going to Future Skills Prime, which I said I will go in my hands-on. So yeah, here we go. Let me just make it full screen. So resharing my screen. I hope you can see my Future Skills Prime screen. So I'm logging in.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
So, I mean, it's almost like a blood relationship. So I have to talk about it.
Go to
Yeah.
groups, yeah.
So I have already this in my dashboard. I'm just showing you. I had this is the generative AI fluency that Kamna is talking about. I think she's almost done a whole week sessions back to back.
And the certificate for this completion will come in the skills passport that will be generated after 15 days. We'll work on that. Just like this form that Anjana has shared, please fill this form. Tomorrow I'll be circulating a form for the whole of the sessions. Please show how to take the assessment. Anjana, if you can please do that as well, since you are now in the generative AI. There is an assessment.
Yeah. So it's here. We can take assessment separately also, right?
But everyone should complete the course.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay. So you see this, this is the last agentic AI, right? After this, you will have assessment, no? Or is
Yes.
it? Yeah. So
After
once
this,
you,
if you,
huh,
you just write generative AI fluency assessment in the chat box, it'll come.
okay. 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 So you can also directly search for the assessment either here or here. You will get it.
Yeah. Yeah, assessment.
Okay.
Yeah. So
So it's here.
this is,
Huh.
yeah. So here, as they say, as it is written, 600 rupees, you don't have to pay this. All of you have got your promo codes in your email. You just go here, type
There's
generative
also a
AI.
mock assessment that all of you can take before going to assessment. This
If you
one.
want, you can do that. That's free, yes.
It's free, and I think it will not have all questions of the test, but it will give you an environment which is, proctored and all of those things.
Correct, correct. Right, thank you. Thank you for doing my job.
Yeah. So once you do this, after that, you can take the AI, like Kamna has already paid. I think somebody is paid, and all of you have to just take assessment. So
Yeah, there is no one has to pay. We have all got promo codes for generated for all the participants. It's completely free of cost. We just want you to all the learning that you have done in these sessions, you please take the assessment. Uh, all those who will pass will get the scores, and we will share the scores with AICT as well. So once you go to proceed to pay, if you can just click on
yeah,
that.
I'm just sharing with these people a link. They are asking for a link.
Yeah.
So proceed to pay. If you go on proceed to pay, it will ask you to pay here.
Yeah, then you just put the promo code.
Yeah, so then you put the promo code, whatever is being given to you. I think here only you will have an option to pay, put promo code, right?
Yeah.
Proceed to pay, mein, na?
You'll have to put a Netherlands address.
Oh, okay. Okay, this is like, so it
But
has
it's
my
okay.
name.
But I think everyone has understood now that how they need to do the test, this assessment.
Yeah. So I think all
Right.
of you can take this assessment and
So
complete
on
it.
the ATAL portal, we will be uploading the results on the ATAL portal. We will be uploading the attendance also on the ATAL portal. That has to be but now tomorrow after the course is over, please fill the feedback form which I will share, and also fill the feedback on the ATAL portal. So please fill both the feedbacks. And also you can fill the feedback form which Anjana has just shared. Anjana, if you can just tell them how to do the assessment since you're on the platform, or how they can.
Yes. So as Kamna said, you can just write here, na? AI fluency.
Generative AI fluency.
Sorry, generative AI fluency assessment. Okay, and if you do search, you will get it. As soon as you search, you will find. So first is mock assessment, which is coming, right? I can in fact show you the mock assessment also. Okay, and
Yes.
it will open, and it's just asking me to launch. which I don't want to answer this time. But then
Yeah.
all I'm saying is you can try first the mock and then you can take the AI fluency. And like Kamna said, she's I think already shared coupon code with all of you. Enter that
Yes.
coupon code and then take the exam.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with that, we come to the close of today's classes. Tomorrow we are all meeting at 2 o'clock. And I'm just sharing the link for that also over here. Just give me a minute. Otherwise, I'll share it on the WhatsApp group.
Hmm.
And see you all tomorrow then. Thank you, Anjana. Thank you so much for your session.
Thank you
And
so much, Kamna.
look forward to having you again. Thank you so much. Please fill the form, the feedback form, and see you all. Thank you so much. Okay.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
everyone. Have a good day. Good night.
Bye. Night.